Should robot umpires be introduced into the MLB? Hi, my name is Brandon Reebok, and I believe robot umpires should not be introduced into the MLB ever, and here's why. Baseball is America's pastime, and it always has been. However, there is a looming threat that may possibly put this sport in danger of its simplicity and popularity, and that would be the new automated strike zone that is currently being developed. I've loved baseball my whole life. I played all my childhood years, as well as becoming an umpire in local leagues. My whole family enjoys baseball as much as I do, and we go to as many national games as possible during a season. I also have a younger brother who's a committed Division I pitcher for the class of 2023. So as you can see, baseball has been around my family forever, and we've always enjoyed it. I will be talking about the reasons why baseball should not be implementing an automated balls and strike system by shedding light on parts of the game that most spectators may not catch while watching. Some history of MLB. Major League Baseball is an organization that was formed in 1903 after the merger of the National League and the American League. There are 29 teams all in total, with one team in Canada. Over time, since the game's creation, there have been numerous technological advancements, such as the evolution of the glove, the baseball, and the material of the bases, and so many more. But most recently, there have been two standout technological advancements regarding video tracking. In 2008, the MLB implemented an instant replay for close calls on the bases, catches in the outfield, and hits fair and foul, and there are many more reasons for it. But a couple years before this, in 2001, the MLB introduced what's called the K-Zone, which is a balls and strike system for at-home viewers. It has no effect on the game, it just allows you the opportunity to yell at the TV if the umpire made a bad call. Some of the issues that the automated strike zone will most certainly have on the game are these. First, baseball isn't just about playing your opponent, it's about playing the umpire as well. You do this by manipulating the umpire by expanding and moving the strike zone. So if some of you guys do not know, the strike zone is the width of the base of home plate and from the batter's knees to his shoulders. And the way that you expand and move the strike zone is by one way. If I'm a right-handed batter here, and the pitch is coming in, if that pitcher wants to throw an outside pitch, but he wants this pitch called a strike, he's not going to throw his first pitch here. He's going to throw his first pitch right on top of the plate, right on that black line. And that first pitch, if it's called a strike, he says, okay, next pitch goes out here. And he keeps inching and inching until that umpire finally calls it a ball. And then whenever he calls that a ball, then he knows that that's strike zone for this umpire. That's just one way to manipulate the umpire. Get strike calls that may not be by the rule book a strike. And it's always been a part of the game. So number two, that leads me to my second point. Bad calls are a part of the game. When a bad call is made, sure, it can be argued. But from a player's perspective, it is an alteration to the strike zone going forward. So this umpire, if he's giving me the outside part of the plate, I know this pitch right here, he's not going to call that a strike. Even though that's technically a strike, if he's calling this a strike, it shortens up where the plate kind of moves. And if the umpire doesn't like a low strike, so something right on my knees, I might have to be ready for this to be called a strike. Number three, it removes the defensive value of a catcher. The catcher plays a bigger role than your average viewer would know. He's in charge of not only calling the pitch, watching and holding base runners and trying to throw them out if they steal, but is also in charge of framing pitches in such a way that a pitcher can be given more strike calls from the umpire. So here I have a video from John Boy Media on YouTube, and I think that it describes this situation perfectly.
All right, you guys know I'm a nerd for catching. I love it. Look what Gary Sanchez is doing in spring training. As the pitch is coming, he's not giving a target. He's on one knee. The glove is down in the dirt. Compare this to last year. On the right, he's just squatting. His glove is where he wants the ball to come, the low strike. Completely different. The reason being, Yankees hired a new catching coach, Tanner Swanson, came over from the Twins, and this is something he's implementing. This is last year, and there's so much movement to catch that low strike because you're going down to catch it and then back up to frame it, and the ump's like, that was awful. You're not going to trick me? But the thing is, as long as we have human umpires, you can trick them. And there's a better way to go about getting that. Look at this. Glove high to deke the batter, dekes the umpire because that ball's right down the middle. Didn't call it a strike. Gary's like, what the fuck? Anyway, there's the low strike. That's another strike. Too much glove movement, doesn't get the call. So look at Mitch Garver last year, Twins catcher, bigger build, doing this. And look at all the hitters getting so frustrated because he is snatching balls from low in the zone and just bringing them up. He doesn't go down to grab them first and then back up. He just goes right up, and the ump's like, okay, yeah, cool. I saw that pitch the entire way. Went right into your glove. Must be a strike. And the hitters are just getting frustrated. As long as you have human umpires, you can trick them, and this is kind of the new strategy to do so. It's kind of cool. Kind of works. I love it. You got to get the pitcher to buy in.
So right there, I think that was a perfect example as to why the catcher plays such a defensive role and has more value than more people may think. And an automated strike zone would take that away. So the fourth reason that I have is the automated strike zone is not 100% accurate, as most people believe. According to John Hirschauer of the National Review, the automated strike zone has trouble tracking certain pitches, such as backdoor sliders and pitches that break or move late. So an example of a backdoor slider is if right here, if this is a right-handed pitcher, so the ball is going to come in, a slider comes from right to left and it slides into the plate. So if I'm a left-handed batter, a slider would be a pitch that comes in, slowly moves this way. Backdoor means the sooner that it comes to or the closer it gets to the plate, or a late breaking pitch, it breaks very, very late and just barely enters that strike zone right before it crosses the front of the plate. That would be where the strike zone is. So a backdoor slider is coming on the opposite side of the batter. It can be the opposite way for if it's a left-handed pitcher and I'm a right-handed batter. Backdoor slider would be coming in this side. And it's the same thing with late breaking pitches. So a curveball, a late breaking pitch, as it's coming in, right before it crosses the plate, right here it's a ball. It's in front of the plate, but right before it crosses the plate, it's going to move into that strike zone, where now it's over top of the plate and it's in that strike zone. That would be considered a late breaking pitch. So the fifth reason, human umpires are getting better than they are better than you think. According to Richard Allen of MyMet Media, today's umpires are correct 95% of the time, which is pretty high. And in a Boston University research study, it shows that baseball umpires' percentage of correct calls has been consistently going up since the year 2008. That was a 10-year research study that they did that ended in 2008. That's when it was published. So in 10 whole years, every single year, that percentage of correct calls was increasing. And it shows that younger umpires are definitively holding a lead on correct call percentages over the older umpires. So interpreting this data can tell us that umpires are getting better every year and that younger umpires are the most correct. So over time, this will mean that umpires will be more and more accurate every single year. So the solution to this is to not implement an automated strike zone and to allow players to play the game, as well as umpires to officiate the game. They will only be more accurate as the years go on, and players will still find the ways to personally and sneakily get more calls using their skill and precision, as we saw by that catcher starting the glove low and moving it high to get that umpire to call him a strike. So in conclusion, baseball is a sport that fundamentally relies on a human umpire to call strikes and balls, and if they were to be replaced by artificial intelligence, then it would certainly change the way the whole game is played. The many key aspects of the game, from the defensive value of the catcher to the skill of the pitcher, in changing that strike zone, I believe that it would cause more problems for all players involved.